Finally, those in positions of power are being honest about the threat China poses to Australia and to our allies. It's clear that China is the biggest threat facing the free world, and war with a superpower may be inevitable. That was the sobering assessment of Home Affairs Secretary Michael Pezzullo, who, while not naming China, made it clear that we must brace for war and prepare to send our warriors to fight. Pezzullo, who is tipped to be the next Defence Department Secretary, is not a man known for outlandish commentary, and it's highly unlikely that he would have spoken about the threat China poses without ministerial approval. In calling for the same sense of duty, resolve and preparedness to face equivalent challenges as the original Anzacs, he has made it clear that the Morrison government would steadfastly stand with our allies, and that must include Taiwan against Chinese aggression. Pezzullo's Anzac Day message to staff wasn't about warmongering, but he cautioned that we cannot allow a natural aversion to war to come at the cost of our precious liberty. The sad reality is that conflict with China will be inevitable if Beijing makes a move against Taiwan. If we don't stand with Taiwan against the Chinese Communist Party, then a dangerous precedent will be set. Australia and its allies must also stand firm against Chinese aggression when it comes to acts of economic coercion. Whether it's negotiating trade deals or investigating the origins of COVID-19, the West cannot allow China to divide and conquer. Defence Minister Peter Dutton also admitted on Sunday that Australia cannot discount conflict with China over Taiwan. He said that a conflict cannot be discounted and there is a high level of preparedness, as there should be, as there always will be, for our Australian Defence Force to meet the threats that we see in our region towards our country and against our allies. Australia must also be prepared to offer asylum to those fleeing Hong Kong, and perhaps Taiwan as well, if China's aggression intensifies. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has already pledged to give up to 3 million Hong Kong residents the chance to settle in the UK after China's crackdown against Hong Kong in 2020. The Australian government should make a similar offer. Now, I know what I'm proposing here is not going to be wildly popular with the bulk of the Australian community. We have seen in poll after poll, Australians make it clear that they want migration numbers to this country to be cut, and to be cut dramatically. But Big Australia is an unspoken policy position backed by both major political forces in this country. And we stand to benefit greatly from taking the highest calibre migrants in the world. Migrants from Hong Kong will be lifters, not leaners. They will be migrants who are not only law-abiding with crime rates well below the national average, but also highly educated, trained and productive. People from Hong Kong are freedom-loving and understand the threat of tyranny. They will fight to preserve our freedoms better than some of the self-loathing, Marxist-loving, privileged miscreants born and bred here. Australia has a moral obligation to provide asylum for those genuinely fleeing tyranny, and would be enriched by fulfilling this moral obligation for those who may soon flee Hong Kong. We are already among the most generous nations when it comes to our humanitarian intake. Those coming from Hong Kong are unlikely to be a drain on our welfare resources, and their economic contribution would help address the issue of an ageing population. An injection of productive, working-age taxpayers is just what we need post-COVID.